What if biological decay is not the end, but an unused source of energy? What you call aging may actually be misdirected transformation. Your body is constantly producing energy, but not all of it is being used consciously. A large portion is lost through unconscious metabolic processes. This loss is what you experience as fatigue, as decline over time. Modern systems call it entropy, a gradual movement toward disorder. But what if this process could be reversed, not stopped, but redirected? Ancient systems described something unusual, a substance called amrita, not a myth, but a representation of refined internal energy, a state where decay is converted into heightened awareness. Your body is designed for movement, but your lifestyle restricts that flow. Long periods of inactivity create stagnation within your system. Energy that should circulate begins to accumulate and degrade. This degradation produces metabolic waste, byproducts your system cannot fully process. Instead of being transformed, this energy becomes dense and unused. Over time, this density increases, slowing down your internal processes. This is what you experience as aging, a gradual loss of efficiency, not because energy is gone, but because it is not being redirected. Modern solutions try to fight this externally: supplements, stimulation, surface level optimization. But the core issue remains internal, a mismanagement of your own energy system. Within your body, energy is constantly moving, but its direction determines everything. Downward leads to decay, upward leads to refinement. Most people operate in downward flow, energy dispersing through unconscious habits. But this flow can be reversed through conscious internal control. The lower nerve plexuses stores raw energy, dense, unrefined, but powerful. This includes physical vitality and deeper subconscious impulses. When left unmanaged, this energy fuels repetitive patterns, but when redirected, it becomes the base material for transformation. This is the beginning of internal alchemy, turning density into clarity, not by adding anything new, but by refining what already exists. At the top of this system sits a small but powerful center, the pineal gland, often called the seat of inner perception. It does more than regulate cycles. It responds to internal energetic states. When energy rises upward, this gland becomes activated. But activation is not automatic. It requires pressure and stillness. This is created through breath retention, holding energy within the system. As breath pauses, internal pressure begins to build. This pressure directs energy upward towards the cranial centers. At a certain threshold, a shift begins to occur. Raw energy starts transforming into a more refined internal state. Rising energy alone is not enough. Without control, it disperses again. This is why most people feel temporary clarity but cannot sustain it. To stabilize the process, the system must be sealed. Ancient practices introduced internal locks known as bandhas. These locks prevent downward leakage, keeping energy within the central system. The lower lock stabilizes the base, stopping energy from dissipating outward. The abdominal lock redirects upward flow, guiding energy towards higher centers. The throat lock contains the rising force, preventing premature release. Together, these create a closed circuit where energy circulates internally. This is when transformation becomes stable, not a moment, but a state. As the system stabilizes, your internal structure begins to change. Energy no longer moves chaotically, it becomes organized and coherent. This creates a new baseline, a more refined internal state. Your awareness becomes sharper, less scattered, more focused. The body feels lighter, but more grounded at the same time. This is what can be called as crystalline state, a system aligned and structured. You are no longer reacting unconsciously, you are operating with clarity. Energy is conserved instead of wasted, reinforcing your internal stability. Temporary peaks disappear, which are replaced by consistent awareness. You are not chasing experiences anymore, you are sustaining a state. At this point, decay is no longer your default direction. Energy is not being lost unconsciously, it is being redirected with awareness. This changes how your body ages, not by stopping time, but by refining its process. You move from survival mode into a state of conscious regulation. Even within a modern lifestyle, this internal system can be maintained. Short periods of stillness becomes tool for recalibration. Breath awareness becomes constant, not forced, but integrated into daily activity. You begin noticing energy instead of ignoring it, where it flows and where it is lost. This awareness prevents accumulation of density, stopping the cycle before it begins. What was once decay becomes fuel for clarity. What was once exhaustion becomes stored potential. Amrita is not a substance you find, it is a state you cultivate, a condition where your system is aligned and energy is continuously refined. You do not escape biology, you learn to master the way it transforms.